it is. Alright, welcome. You're so welcome. Today we're making Soondubu Jjigae. So Soondubu literally means extra soft tofu, and Jjigae means stew. Just with my braised tofu recipe, tofu and Korean dishes are just loaded with flavor. So click up here if you haven't seen that episode yet. Today we're going to take it one step further. We're going to make a stew out of it. And this is one that I grew up with. My mom made this for me all the time. This is a really easy one. All comes together, about 20 minutes. One thing I want to focus on is the silken tofu right here. Silken tofu is the softest version of tofu, meaning that not a lot of the moisture or the liquid has been pressed out from the tofu. So you get this really soft tofu and it kind of melts in your mouth when you eat it. If you can't find silken, just go as soft as you can, but it's getting a bit easier to find these days. All right, let's get into it. Start off by preparing the vegetables. Finally dice half an onion, set that off to the side. Then we have 2 stalks of green onion that we're gonna slice very thinly. So the onions and the green onion go at the same time, so you can just prep them and then clump them together like this. Not a big deal if they get mixed up. For mushrooms, I know it's pretty standard to take out the stems before you chop them up, but my mom always left the stem in and kept them in whole, and for some reason I really like that. So if that freaks you out, go ahead and pluck them out, but I'm just gonna keep them in today. Okay? Cool. So if you've never cut mushrooms with the stem on, here's a cool little way I found online by J. Kenji Lopez Alf. It's a round, oh god, that's just flying. But it's a round vegetable or thing that you're cutting. Mushrooms technically aren't vegetables, are they? They're fungi? They're a fun guy, huh? So since they're like circular, they can be really annoying to chop, or it's like not super safe. So what you do, 2 slices off like that, and then you have this flat side now. Oh god, it's so slippery. And you can set it down on the flat end, and then you can just chop like normal. See, isn't that pretty cool? That's it for prep. Let's move to the stove. Our pot has been preheating on medium heat. We're gonna go straight in with the meat with no oil because we are going to basically render out the fat from the meat and use that as flavor in our broth. It needs to be ground meat, it can be ground beef, ground pork. I'm using Impossible meat today. I'm letting this go until it's brown on all sides with a slight sear, and it doesn't need to be cooked 100% of the way through because we will be cooking the rest of the soup in this pot. So now go ahead with about 3 tablespoons of sesame oil, then go straight in with your onions and green onions. Saute everything until things are aromatic, about 2 minutes, and then you'll see the oil begin to seep out of the ingredients. Put in 1 tablespoon of gochugaru. Make sure you stir everything well and keep the pot moving. Gochugaru burns very easily, so you're gonna have to keep the ingredients moving. If it's helpful, you can take the pot off the heat while you are doing this. There's 2 kinds of gochugaru. There's the coarse kind, which you see me use in previous videos, and today we're using fine. The taste between the 2 is nearly identical. The fine just works better in soups like this because it lends to a smoother soup. So if you don't have fine gochugaru but you have the coarse kind, definitely go with that. You're going to go until you see the oil turn into an orange/red tint. That's when you know the gochugaru has infused with the oil, and that is what we are going for. Pour in 2 cups of water, and then you're gonna go in with your other seasoning. So I have 1/3 of a tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/2 tablespoon of salt. Also add in an optional sprinkle of MSG if you're crazy. Give everything a good stir and taste for seasoning. Add additional salt if necessary. Mine was good, so I stopped here. Then go in with your mushrooms, and then we're gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. Cook until the mushrooms have cooked through. Once your 10 minutes is up, we can put in the silken tofu. So with this tube shape here, I'm just gonna cut off the end using a knife. And you can either just squeeze the whole tube in, or you can pinch off little chunks here. It really doesn't matter because you're going to break it up into little pieces with the spoon anyways. Stir that around, let that come back to a boil. By that time, you'll know that the silken tofu has heated through. Go in with 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, about 10 cranks of black pepper. This makes about 2 servings of Soondubu Jjigae. Give that a good stir. Scoop it out, and you can garnish with optional green onion if you want it to look fancy. And you're good to go. Good? Okay, very good, very good. So we have Soondubu Jjigae. I'm gonna try to tilt it, but not too much. It smells amazing. As with all Korean soups or stews, you need to have a side of rice. Here we go.
Boom.
So the difference between soups and stews is that stews tend to be a bit more flavorful, more salty, and that's why it's always accompanied by rice, because otherwise if you eat it on its own, it's too salty. Some background, if you care. Don't ever just like grab your bowl of rice and dump it into the stew. That just makes no sense. Just grab a little bit, because this will be piping hot. Throw some in your rice, let them get to know each other a little bit. And yeah, you just go like that. Oh shit, that's really good. I think my mom would be very proud of me actually. She'd be like this, Udam, this is really good. I'd be like, yeah, I know. Oh my god. I think this might be the best one I've made so far. Alright, Tellen, you wanna come try this?
Yeah. Mmm, it was really good.
Yeah, not too spicy?
Not too spicy, it's usually a little too spicy for me, but this is really good.
How do you describe the flavor of this?
Very savory, very like comforting.
MSG helps a little bit too, but...
Can't go wrong with a little MSG.
Okay, thank you. This is a very nostalgic dish for me. Like I said, my mom made this for me all the time growing up. This is bringing back some memories for me. Good memory. I'm gonna wrap up so I can smash my face into this. It's a pretty easy one, honestly. It really is. There's nothing fancy that I did. This used to be a pretty hard dish to make at home about like 5-10 years ago when silken tofu wasn't as easy to find, but now I think you can find it at Whole Foods now. You don't have to use like that tube I use today. As long as it's silken tofu, you are solid, and honestly in a pinch you can use other kinds of tofu, but then it's not really Soondubu, but you do what you will. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna stop spinning this.
Let me know what you want to see next.
Let me know what you want to see next. Click up here for more Korean recipes. Click here for whatever recipe YouTube decides to show you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. I'm so close to 100 subscribers. Please become a Panda. Help me out. I want to hit 100 subscribers.
Join the Panda.
Join the Panda.
Come on, guys.
Come on. Okay. Anyways, goodbye.